What did you
more
think?
than he does.
What did you think of this thing that just came out today? That Bob Woodward's book was saying that Trump was sending tests to Putin, and Putin said, "Don't let anyone know." I mean, what is going on? What do you make of that?
So I actually said it even in the debate. I believe that Donald Trump has this desire to be a dictator. He admires strong men, and he gets played by them because he thinks that they're his friends.
Yeah.
And they are manipulating him full time and manipulating him by flattery.
Yeah.
And with favor. And so in the midst, to your point, as reported by Bob Woodward, in the height of the pandemic, and remember, and your listeners will remember, people were dying by the hundreds.
Yeah.
Everybody was scrambling to get these kits, the tests, the kits.
Couldn't get them.
Couldn't get them.
Right.
Couldn't get them anywhere.
Right.
And this guy who is president of the United States is sending them to Russia, to a murderous dictator for his personal use?
Who you only wish Putin would have gotten COVID, dropped dead.
Well,
I wish that.
Well, the point being, that is just the most recent stark example of who Donald Trump is, that he secretly sent test kits for the personal use of Putin, of Russia, an adversary to the United States, when he was talking about Americans should be putting bleach in their blood. Think about what this is. Think about this person who wants to be president again.
To me, you're the law and order candidate. And yet they try to paint you like you're some leftist who I don't know, who wants to have people running through the streets committing crimes. You were a prosecutor.
I have put a lot of people in jail. I think that, Howard, people ask me, what do you think is going on and what is the tension here? What's at stake? And there are many things, and I can be much more articulate than what I'm going to say. But I do believe that this is an election that is about strength versus weakness.
Yeah.
And weakness as projected by someone who puts himself in front of the American people and does not have the strength to stand in defense of their needs, their dreams, their desires, the work that must happen to make sure that we are a secure nation, that we are nurturing and protecting our alliances around the world, that we are supporting America's military, that we are fighting to bring the cost of living down for working families, that we are building businesses, building growth.
What is going on, YouTube? It's Coffee. Back at it, man. And Kamala Harris on Howard Stern. Very viral clip, man. A lot going on in the news today in regards to this clip. You heard Howard and Kamala Harris not pulling any punches, right? First off, in regards to those sickness tests, we got to call them. Y'all know we got to be careful, right? You heard Stern. He said, man, I wish Putin would just drop dead. Kamala was like, you notice whether she feels that way or not, like Kamala or not like her, she knew that was not a good thing to say, right? Whether she felt it or not. If you don't fuck with her, you gotta give her some points for that she knew to transition on from that and just keep it moving. But she was just saying, hey, people over here, and these are these reports. Everyone hit the comments, share your thoughts about this, that Trump was sending the kits over there to Putin while people over here in the good old US of A couldn't come across him. And she says that, Trump has aspirations of being a dictator, that he's just on this power trip. So he allows dictators and people in power, to play him and play him for a fool. What do you guys think about that? What do you make of that? What do you think of Trump's interactions with Putin? I'm just curious to know. You hear Stern talking about how, she is a law and order candidate. You heard her. She put a lot of people in jail. And the political drama is thick, y'all. You know what I mean? But he's taken up very heavily for Kamala Harris. Like, this was Because, politics is wild, y'all. We're going to get to Trump's response and all that, so hang tight just a moment. But anyone that watches this channel, guys, I'm not the political guy, right? I sit back more or less. I report the news. I want to hear what you guys think about the news. When it comes to stuff, doing interviews, I'd like to do interviews with people. I've done a couple, and I'd like to do more someday. I actually got one that I've been supposed to do. Someone who was on No Jumper, someone recently, got to get around to that, man. But when you interview someone, you can interview them on just a level of, hey, we're interviewing, we're having a conversation. This was more like, hey, I'm rocking with you, Kamala. Fuck Trump, I don't know. Comment if that surprises you or if you already saw that coming, I just, again, I don't know everything about all this political stuff, but it was clear that Howard Stern wasn't just interviewing Kamala Harris. He was endorsing her, he was rocking with her, and he was throwing a middle finger to Trump. Curious to know everyone's thoughts about that. But you heard Kamala Harris. She said this is about strengths and weaknesses. And, Trump doesn't have the strength to do what the American people need, bring the cost of, apologies, y'all, I got interrupted, but she was saying it's about strengths and weaknesses, and Trump doesn't have what it takes to stand in there and be strong enough and do what the American people need and bring down the cost of living and, the needs of the American people and make the proper decisions. You see someone reacting and saying, hey, Trump, someone shot this man, and he stood up and said, look, y'all, and put his fist in the air. If that ain't strength, I don't know what is. That's what someone said responding to this. But we're going to get to Trump's response real quick, though. We're going to play a clip. It's very brief. It's one of the times Trump was on Stern. This is floating around the blogosphere as well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
You are one.
All right, I was going to say that. It's true.
Very short clip, 7 seconds. There's people are using this saying that Trump admitted that he's a predator. I mean, listen, a 7-second clip could be taken out of context. I don't know what they were talking about. It could have been just a joke, you know what I mean? But here's Trump's response to it all.
I watched the way they asked questions of Kamala yesterday. Howard Stern, he's a weak guy. He's weak. He's going, what about, It was so ridiculous. Even she was embarrassed. It was like softball, but all of them. Howard, I knew him very well. I was on his show many times. I used to think he was good. Then I dropped him, and I dropped him like a dog. And his ratings are very challenged. But I watched the questions. I watched that stupid View where you have these really dumb people. Whoopi Goldberg said, would you participate in a movie? She made some movie on basketball. This was before I ran for politics. She said, you're so great. If you ever ran for president, you'd win. This is Whoopi Goldberg. You don't hear that? She said, I'm making a movie. Would you be in it? I said, in what capacity? Just a walk-on. You're so great. Would you do it? I did a walk-on for Whoopi Goldberg. Now she says, I refuse to mention his name. You know what? Politics can do strange things to demented people. Now, I've hired Whoopi to work for me as a comedian before this stuff, and a long time ago. And I went, and, I'm not particularly shy about what I hear. Her mouth was so foul. Every word out of her mouth was like the F word, this. I was with a group of people, like sort of nice people, and we had to leave. She was so filthy dirty, disgusting. Half the place left. I said I'd never hire her again, but she was so dirty. Every word was filthy dirty, and I left. And then I see her sitting about, Whoopi, what a loser she is. But I watched the way they ask questions, and it's like, they're on the same, they're partners in this crime that's being committed. Kamala, again, she was last in the primary. She was the first one to drop out of like 22 people. And now I'm running against it. Now, I don't mind.
So you hear a man going in on Whoopi Goldberg. I don't even know what Whoopi said exactly about Trump, but he said, you know, hey, I did a walk-on for a movie with her. She had nothing but great things to say about me. She's a filthy comic, foul-mouthed ass broad. You know, I hired her to do comedy, and it was disgusting, the language that she used. It was rather funny. He said, politics will make people do crazy things, demented people, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, man. Trump always cracks me up. As always, I share with y'all, I'm not a Trump guy. We're just following the news, following this election. But, man, he clapped back at Howard Stern, saying he been on the show many times, which I've seen him on there, but he said he dropped him like a dog. What did he say? Did he say a dirty dog or just a dog? He just doesn't want anything to do with him. His ratings are falling off. And basically just called him a buster. He also went on to call him a beta male. Check this out. He says, Howard Stern made a fool of himself on his low-rated radio show when he interviewed, in quotes, lying Kamala Harris and hit her with so many softball questions that even she was embarrassed. He looked like a real fool, working so hard to make a totally incompetent and ill-equipped person look as good as possible, which wasn't very good. I dropped Howard a long time ago, like most others, and have since been credited with very good judgment. MAGA 2024. So you see, he's been not rocking with Howard Stern, according to Trump. Comment if that's true. I'm not sure the last time he was on the show, but it's clear Stern didn't just interview Kamala Harris. He's siding and rocking with Kamala Harris. Comment, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. He's calling him a beta male. You see this picture of Howard Stern with Diddy. Now, listen, we know that Diddy ish is wild, and we're following that case, so make sure to subscribe, guys. You know what I mean, to this channel. How deep is that going to go? How much will be uncovered? But in all fairness, Trump has a lot of pictures with Diddy as well. We just can't say, hey, because they were in a flick together. You know what I mean? But I'll just point out they both spent time with Diddy. But someone's using this picture saying this is all you need to know about Howard Stern and politics and all that, man. But there you go, man. Trump clapping back. And again, anyone, what's going on with Whoopi Goldberg? I totally missed the smoke that Trump has for Whoopi. But let's talk about it in the comments. Subscribe. Your thoughts about the election, the drama and all that. Howard Stern. I have stopped watching Howard Stern a long time ago, man. I was a big Artie Lang fan. I felt like Howard did Artie foul. You know, Artie is an addict. It's his own fault. You know what I mean? Believe me, I'm not putting that on Howard Stern, but he enabled him like a motherfucker. Maybe he didn't realize the reality and severity of it. But after everything was said and done, I feel like he shit on him, man. You know? So, sorry, y'all, with all those notifications jumping off. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Let's talk it up. Subscribe. It's Coffee. I'm out of here. Peace.